Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with a comparison you've been waiting for, my camera showdown between the POCO X3 NFC, the K30 Ultra, and the Mi Note 10 Lite. And we've gone through all the various sections: design, display, performance, and overall the K30 Ultra is leading in a lot of these sections. But can the POCO X3 fight back in this camera round, or is the Mi Note 10 Lite going to surprise us all with a come-from-behind victory? Let's have a look. And so before I share the camera samples, let's do a quick overview of the camera specs. We have a 64 megapixel Sony IMX682 on the POCO X3. That's the same sensor here on the K30 Ultra. And the Mi Note 10 Lite actually has the best sensor of the three with the Sony IMX686 on board. In terms of ultra wides, the POCO X3 NFC and the K30 Ultra both have a 13 megapixel f2.2 and f2.4 respectively. Meanwhile, the Mi Note 10 Lite has an 8 megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide camera. And rounding out the additional cameras, a 2 megapixel macro camera versus 5 versus 2, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor on the POCO X3 and the K30 Ultra. And surprisingly, the Mi Note 10 Lite has a 5 megapixel depth sensor. On the fronts, we see both 20 megapixels on the POCO X3 and the K30 Ultra, and a 16 megapixel f2.5 on the Mi Note 10 Lite. With max video of 4K 30 FPS on all these phones, which is surprising for the Mi Note 10 Lite because the IMX686 is capable of 4K 60 and front video of full HD 30 FPS. And here we see the camera modules of these phones. They could not be any more different. And now let me share my full camera samples in both day and night and video of these three phones. Which phone is going to come out on top in this epic camera showdown? Have a look at the results and let's talk about it when we get back. And this is 4K 30 FPS video on the POCO X3, the K30 Ultra, and the Mi Note 10 Lite. And just came out to the harbor here, and look at this view. Gorgeous view. Beautiful day in Hong Kong. Walking along the coast. And stabilization looks great. But hit me up in the comments. What do you think? This is nighttime recording on the POCO X3 NFC, the K30 Ultra, and the Mi Note 10 Lite. And this is just about the most challenging conditions to film for any phone. But look at that gorgeous view out there. You can hear the water lapping up here on the side. Hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is front-facing video on the POCO X3, the K30 Ultra, and the Mi Note 10 Lite. And look at this beautiful view here, guys. Hope you're staying well, staying safe, and it looks really good on all these phones. But listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So what'd you guys think? Did the POCO X3 finally beat out its China-only K30 Ultra competitor? Did the K30 Ultra prevail? Or did the Mi Note 10 Lite prove it's the best camera of the bunch? Guys, in the daytime shots, I was pretty impressed, but I did notice a really good balance and great dynamic range on the POCO X3 NFC. And I think the theme of this camera showdown was just how optimized this POCO X3's camera is. And this was really evident in the night. The shots from the POCO X3 were just more on point. They were brighter, they were sharper, and they didn't suffer from the graininess we saw on the K30 Ultra. I was pretty surprised that the sky on some of these K30 Ultra shots were just so grainy, and I did not expect the POCO X3 to dominate in this way. Meanwhile, the Mi Note 10 Lite I think held its own. It had some solid shots both day and night. But the ultra-wide shots were less inspiring on this phone, and there were just a few moments where the Mi Note 10 Lite missed the mark. But I still think you have a very capable shooter on this phone. So I'm surprised to say it, but the winner of this camera showdown is the POCO X3 NFC. I did not expect a phone that's so new to have cameras that were as optimized as they are on this phone. And the stabilization in video is also really excellent. The reality is, guys, none of these phones are going to be flagship level when it comes to night shots. And in the nighttime, as you could see, all of these phones really struggled to capture usable footage at that time. But I think these are all capable shooters for the price, and considering the POCO X3's price, which is now back to 229 euros, but here in Hong Kong, I can purchase this phone for around 185 euros, 1700 Hong Kong dollars. You are getting one of the better camera experiences at this price point, and for those reasons, I give the Camera Comparison Award here to the POCO X3 NFC. But hit me up in the comments. Which of these phones do you think did best? Do you agree with me that the POCO X3 won, or is there another phone that you think did better? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, guys, this epic 3-part comparison between the POCO X3, K30 Ultra, and the Mi Note 10 Lite. I hope you've enjoyed it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Have a good one.